Since the beginning of this semester, we, the broadcasting students here at Mount Royal, have been working hard to bring you this documentary. This program showcases the skills of actors, musicians, teachers, and students. Our MRU education has taught us the fundamentals of documentary production. This program showcases our skills and brings music and theater to life for one final encore.
When I'm on stage, I feel at home.
There's nothing else like it.
You can't compare it to anything else.
You don't know what's going to happen.
And theater pulls everything that I'm about out of me and energizes me every second of the day.
Whenever I'm working on a show professionally, I'm working with some of my graduates.
It helps you see the world in a completely different way.
All my graduates from years and years across the country, all working in various fields, all saying, I could not be the person I am today without the Mount Royal Theatre Program.
We must, from this moment on, be relentless. We must know all of it.
It's been a while since I was a student, but I have very fond memories of being here. I really, really appreciated what the program had to offer at the time.
There's so many lessons I've learned from this program. It's helped me become a more compassionate person, more vulnerable. It's also taught me how to respect people.
I'm a big people person. I love people, and theater is full of all sorts of different characters. A realization moment for me. I was happier and more invested in theater than I was in my actual job.
Our program is a very hands-on related kind of program. You learn by doing in both the acting and the technical theater stream. So our relationship as faculty to students is very, very one-on-one.
Our instructors know us practically almost as well as we know ourselves. It's really just incredible. I mean, they're very compassionate, always honest, and they take a very strong interest in your learning.
The heightened text and the scope of this play need to come to life.
None of the professors are called professor. You know them on a first name basis because you work with them so much. You feel like you're good friends with them.
Lucky we're in tip-top shape, Batman.
Our program is a conservatory model, and there are a handful of programs like this across the country.
The best part about it is the practical experience of working on stage and doing actual shows. Definitely. The facilities here at Mount Royal are pretty exceptional.
When I was in high school, I heard a lot about Mount Royal's jazz program. I heard so many good things and people going through the program. Clinicians would come in from Mount Royal and teach us how to play our instruments better.
If you want to stab hard, then this thing's got to be there, but you can't sustain that.
When you're in high school and you're not sure what it is you want to do with your career, a program like this can help you believe that it's possible for a life in music. It provides a role model. It provides a watermark for opportunities in a life in music.
The program is really the only one of its kind in southern Alberta, which means that it was really depended on in a lot of ways, both from an educational standpoint and also just in the music scene in general.
Well, I feel very strongly about the importance of Calgary having a music program. It provides an opportunity where you might not realize one is needed.
The jazz program definitely played an integral part in the scene. Not only was it really the only jazz-based program that someone could go to from high school, it also really attracts people to the scene. So it means that we bring people from other cities to come and study here. That also means that a lot of them stay here.
The availability of a program like Mount Royal's attracts people to Calgary, but it also strengthens the local music scene, and I think that's one of the things that makes an urban center exciting.
The more cosmopolitan a city becomes, the more interest there is in live performing arts, because it's an expansion of the culture of the city, and the larger the city becomes, the more cosmopolitan it becomes, the more people want to see these kinds of things.
Theater makes you think and makes you feel and you question things. And I think that's really important.
Nice. Thanks for catching that. Beautiful. That's the most important part, is touching back on what it is to be human.
It's important for everyone else because theater, it nourishes everyone's humanity, you know? It brings together all sorts of people from different walks of life.
How can I say what I owe to you?
Theater helps society in so many ways because you can experience different cultures, you can experience different lives, you can see how different things affect different people on stage. You can either make people forget what's going on in the outside world, which sometimes people need, or you can inform people what's going on and allow them to experience that and make their own opinion, and I think that's gone without theater.
When people go to the theater, they can have an experience that reflects their own society, and that reinforces the human experience.
Or knowing what it is to be an audience member, there's nothing more exciting than to share a moment with someone on stage.
You have people who are listening to this story that you're telling them, and they're engaged and they're active and they're thinking and they're feeling all sorts of emotions. And to think that you get to do that as a performer is, words can't describe it.
You don't know what's coming around the corner, and I think that's what's really exciting about live theater.
It's that live human touch that really draws people to the live theater. It is an essential element in the life of human beings. When we get together and create together, the human soul and spirit is nourished by these experiences. And so it's not something that you can think of as a frill.
I feel like I undergo some kind of transformation when I'm listening to music and lose myself in music that I enjoy.
If the music is good, then you're creating one of the most amazing vibes in a room that you can possibly experience. When someone goes to a club to listen to music, they're going to have the best time of their life.
When you're improvising with other people, you're creating music, it requires a high level of awareness about what's going on around you. It means you're listening to everyone and you're really working together to try to produce the music.
Even as a professional, as a well-trained, highly skilled individual, when you step out on stage, you don't know what's going to happen. And the audience can sense that.
It's a very nerve-wracking process, knowing that you're going to try to make spontaneous art in front of a group of people. However, once you start to get more prepared, there can be any range of emotions.
I've been to performances where I walked out of the venue feeling like a changed person because of the fact I was able to be there in person and witness that live performance. That's why live performance will never diminish in terms of being a reason for people to go out and experience life.
The number one thing that music needs to have going for it is some sort of an education program where people of all ages can learn the finer points of music, or just learn where music came from and where it's going, because music is usually very forward thinking, and you can't go forward with music and keep creating amazing things without knowing the past of music.
It speaks to a combination of history and tradition and innovation and risk. And so those are the elements that are universal. And when we play our instruments, even if we can't speak someone else's verbal language, we can play together and we can communicate on a level that transcends verbal communication.
We need props, we need scenery, we need actors.
In second year, for all of the students, it's mandatory that we do a recital.
need props, we need scenery, we need actors. Actors need to memorize lines, need to study their parts, need to research the backgrounds.
It's pretty rigorous, intense, because you're putting up a full 2-act show in 2.5, 3 weeks.
I know a lot of people who I've talked to are like, oh, you're an actor. I'm like, yes, I'm an actor. That means I spend 13 hours a day working on something. I go home every night and research for 2 hours about the character I'm going to play.
99% of technicians are the most passionate, dedicated people, because for some strange reason, we just really love what we do, and regardless of the fact that we work 16-hour days, 7 days in a row, we just keep coming back because we want to do that.
It's such a rush to have an audience there because it allows you to interact with them, and it brings up your energy.
You knowing that there's all these people watching you and hearing them laugh, hearing them cry, hearing them gasp, and getting to feel that live in the moment. Nothing can describe it. It's thrilling.
It is really a unique experience. That moment that everything comes together and the curtain opens and the audience is there and the expectation is there, and then their applause at the end.
I don't feel it's a profession. I think it's more of a lifestyle. You know, there's a lot of sacrifices that go involved when you become an artist. No other profession asks you to be more vulnerable as a human being than what we do. It's a very noble and honorable profession, in my humble opinion.
In second year, for all of the students, it's mandatory that we do a recital. And the recital is it's a show that we put on. We choose our own band, we do our own arrangements. Oftentimes people will do their own compositions. It's a send-off into the real world.
From day one, they let you know about them, and it's really working up to that point.
The final recitals are kind of one of the most terrifying experiences that you go through at Mount Royal. It causes you the most stress and the most anxiety, and it causes you to not sleep. You don't see your friends for a while because you're trying to prepare for this.
It's just music all day long until basically my head hits the pillow.
On the bridge, bum, ba-da, bang. Well, let's try that.
If it's what you love, it doesn't feel like it's work at all.
The work that goes into them is almost unimaginable. I mean, the number of hours you spend really tweaking these tunes and trying to really showcase your best strengths and best efforts. It's really so much time in the rehearsals of trying to get ready for so many different recitals at one time.
Where's Max in now? Max.
It's entirely the reality of the music world, kind of encompassed in one simple project that you're doing for school. It's so important to have that skill to be able to arrange music like you do for the recitals and get musicians together, and rehearsals and scheduling. All of that stuff is just exactly what you do in the workplace.
You have to design a recital poster and a pamphlet that is handed out at the recital. And you really have to do all of the work that would go into putting on a show in real life. One of the challenging things about recitals, especially this year, there's less people in the program, so there's less people that we can ask to be in our recital, which puts the pressure on everybody because you're not only playing your own recital, you're playing maybe 3 or 4 recitals. I know one of my peers in the program is playing 10 recitals.
All the music on everyone's recital is arranged by the student themselves. So some students choose to do some original compositions. Others take established jazz standards and other types of songs and really make them their own by adjusting different things in the song.
Generally, people will have 4 or 5 rehearsals before the recital. There'll be about 8 to 10 people in the band.
You're learning a lot about camaraderie. You're learning about sharing on the stage and knowing when to give another actor a power position. You're essentially getting a humanities degree when you're working as an actor.
Could she stay on the bed and then turn to see me?
Yeah.
It's such a unique animal. people, solving problems with people, finding creative ways of solving problems, and creating a common product for an audience. All of those things going together make people really well suited for various professions.
I'm not limited to live on-stage theater. My skills are very transferable to all sorts of places. I'm always aware of everything that's going on in a room and can step in and help somebody before they even realize that they need help. And I love that that's a skill set I've learned from technical theater.
When I was at Mount Royal, I learned that the biggest part of music, and especially jazz music, is that you need to treat it always like some sort of a community thing, and that it's an inclusive art.
The study of music teaches you a lot about yourself. When you have to sit in a practice room for hours on end, you really learn, what you're made of.
Watching our students really mature in the 2 years that they come here, they are different people when they graduate. Probably more than anything, it helps you see the world in a completely different way.
Oh my God, Mount Royal's program? You're kidding.
I think that the final large ensemble concert will be a little bit melancholy.
Putting everything we've got into it, and we're going to go out with a bang. I honestly hadn't thought that I was going to get Dracula. I was actually expecting to get like Van Helsing or something, but I got Dracula.
We are fighters, you see. We Carpathians have bravery and conquest in our veins.
I'm really looking forward to just portraying an iconic villain, something totally new for me.
I was really glad because it's like the last show and it's nice to end off with a bang, but it's going to be a really nice challenge to play Mina. She has a very complicated character that's not like all the other characters I've played before.
I found you on the cliffs, lying amid the rocks.
Dracula, to me, sheds light on really our human condition and kind of the dark recesses that we can go into.
Legion after legion, they came for our land, and we sentenced them to heaven instead.
Everybody has a dark side that they go to or they entertain.
I shall solve the secret of your mind. You are light-eating maniac.
There's so much crazy stuff going on in the show. Like, there's a vampire literally terrorizing London. Sure, he's a creepy guy, but he has like a nobility towards him, and he has this like charm and sexuality to him.
Yes, and you, Miss Lucy. I'm told she's very beautiful.
His presence is always like there, and I really love being able to play such a powerful and strong character. It's amazing. It's a fun show. I think the audience is just gonna have as much fun as we have performing it.
The final performance, I think, is going to be a broad representation of the musicians who have participated in the program over the years.
I think that the final large ensemble concert will be a little bit melancholy.
Current students, of course, will be performing. The faculty will be performing. And alumni, as well as former faculty, will all contribute in this final performance to speak to the significance of the program here in Calgary.
Oh my God, Mount Royal's program? You're kidding. We're in beautiful denial that this is happening this year, that this is the last year of these programs.
It was upsetting and shocking because I didn't actually think that would happen.
Beloved flower are mine.
We're putting everything we've got into it, and we're gonna go out with a bang.
We were here and we mattered.
I started here and now I'm seeing it finish as well.
This is what's here. This is what we can do.
Tomorrow I set sail, and then it shall be yours.
You assume that things are going to be there forever. And then when they're gone, it's a bit of a shock. But I don't think it'll really sink in for a number of years.
I have brought tears in the very eyes where I least intended them.
Unfortunately, this last year has been hard on both the teachers and the students because it's basically been a stretch to find value in why we're doing this, because the institution that we attend doesn't think that we're valuable enough.
Betrayal, though. Betrayal is the willful slaughter of hope.
Although it's really sad that the program's ending, we're going to still go on a positive note.
This program has always produced the most amazing performers and tech students that Calgary, Alberta has ever done, and it's a shame. It's a shame.
It is over. Our work has not been in vain.
Doug has been really invested this year, which has been really nice to experience, just that we know that he wants the best for our last year.
You have my word.
The resignation that it's coming to an end is filled with some sadness there as well.
What will you do?
We're working through this year to get our students through and get them the best experience we can.
We vow to remain vigilant.
I remember I was in my car driving to school, and I heard something on the radio about it, about all these cuts.
I didn't know how to react. I couldn't believe that it was happening.
Later on, I heard more specifically about the cuts that Mount Royal was making, one of the ones being the fine arts programs here at Mount Royal. And I kind of felt sick to my stomach.
We're a wealthy city, we're a dynamic city, and I think we're very culturally diverse. And I was very sad to hear that this was going to be one piece of the giant mosaic that would no longer exist.
It felt like the more important things in life had been forgotten about just suddenly.
It was just really disheartening, and it put a damper, especially on this last year of my diploma.
If there was someone in Calgary who decided that they wanted to pursue jazz education, I was very disappointed to find out that it was something that future students were being robbed of.
A door closing. And, hopefully another one will open with this.
By the time that they announced that they were cutting it, some auditions had already happened and people were expecting to go here, and they got letters in the mail saying, too bad, you can't, we're cutting the program.
Music students in Calgary won't know what's next.
The arts and culture is definitely the heartbeat of any city.
More to the point, Fred. It is a crowded city.
People are going to be more inclined to go elsewhere for schooling, which means that we're going to lose some pretty important talent.
The secrets Jonathan spoke of must be elsewhere.
It's super bittersweet to know that that's the last show we're going to do.
Unexpected always happens.
Well, knowing that it's the last one, it's really bittersweet. That's the best way to describe it. I mean, it's cliche and it's been thrown around a dozen times. It really is the best way to describe it. To me, theater has always been something I've always taken solace in. It's always been something I can depend on. There's very few words that can describe how much theater means to me.
It's one of the best things I've ever done. I'm never going to regret coming here. It is an experience of a lifetime, and I wish everyone would get the chance to experience it.
I would say that it's been life-changing, and I would say that I wouldn't be the person that I am today without this program.
Their students are highly regarded, and the program is a pinnacle of success in Canada for jazz. And so it's a huge loss.
Lucy, can you hear me? I am Abraham Van Helsing. Count Dracula. I am Dracula. She wants blood, my friend, and what she must have or she will die. No! No! Let me go!
And I think When I look back on my involvement in the program, I think that's probably something that has meant the most to me, is watching our students really go through a transformation.
Mostly when I think of my graduates is I think how lucky I am to have such a talented group of people.
These legends still the same.
No, there's a change. Sweet dreams.
So that's what I think about when I think about my career here, is the numbers of people that I have affected and our program has affected.
Thank you very much for coming, everyone. Thank you, and have a great night.
It's an incredible program. It's taught me so much, and 20 years from now, I'm gonna say it's honestly the best thing that's ever happened to me. I can guarantee that.